started, we will not go back. So having said all this, let me quickly just bring up to speed the structure of IEEE and the expectations. We just finished IEEE NigerCon. That's one of our flagship conference, and honestly, it's one of the hectic, kind of conference we had in the past how many years now. This is the fourth one. We've been having NigerCon until we just finished this. We're even trying to do the post-conference setup. So right now we are trying to get into AITP. We have all the necessary approvals. The section, with the help of our Computer Society Chair, Professor Lumide, the consultant network, and everybody, we've given 100% support to ensure that this conference flies. But there are some fundamentals that we need to put in place so that we'll be able to make progress. As we all know, IEEE is a brand name, on a global scale. Any association, any group associated with IEEE, there are a whole lot of expectations. People expect, something much more higher than the traditional, standards and procedures. So we are obliged to comply with that standard and then see how we can make the kind of progress required. We've tried the much we can to reach out to some of our colleagues that were part of IEEE NigerCon, the TCP group. Many of them, we've discussed with them and they've given consent to be part of this conference. That means we are going to succeed. Some of them have been paired to join the different thematic areas, either as chairs or co-chairs with the consensus, so that we can be able to make a very considerable progress. In the past, these kinds of conference, these are the kind of conference people we host in Region 1, Region 2, maybe somewhere in the US, in the Australia, in the Canada, and all that. But with so much democratization and liberation, and so much pressure from the Region 8, Nigerian section not being excluded, we've been able to bring this conference back to Africa and back to Nigeria. And then this conference is just in our doorstep. So it's actually a great opportunity for us to explore, develop our capacity, build networks, and then help our students to develop papers that will eventually go to explore, which invariably will go to the Scopus Index platform and the Web of Science. That's actually a very good one for those of us in the academy, and then those of us from the industry as well. So having said that, it's important to follow the roadmap. IEEE have a roadmap, a timetable schedule that conference organizers ought to follow, so as to ensure that they follow the different milestones and then close out accordingly. And that's why I want to share this calendar with us. I don't know if you can see my screen, conference timeline and guidelines. I don't know if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see.
We are seeing the screen.
Okay, great.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so now if you look at this time frame, because in every project, like many of us are project managers, there must have to be a plan and there must be a structure. Otherwise, we'll be busy doing the right thing at the wrong time or doing the wrong thing at the right time. That will not work. So we have to leverage this template. This is actually template from IEEE MCE for any conference that will have to fly. Why I wanted to engage our conference chair so that he can give few updates, so that he will align with this timetable template. When the conference registration, when it was time to register the conference, I wanted to do that. IEEE wrote to me directly and told me that I'm going to be invoking conflict of interest. I cannot be a section executive and then be the one that will be registering a conference that have a collaborative stance. That's why I called the conference chair to take up that responsibility after we discussed to register the conference. So there are some communication that have been excluded from. There are certain communication that will not come to me as part of the organizers of this conference. Not because I'm not supposed to have access to that communication, but because IEEE cherish what they call conflict of interest. So, for example, IEEE MCE haven't registered this conference. They're supposed to send a mail to the conference committee informing us of the final approval as regards the conference record number, which is what we're going to use in tracking the profiling of the papers accepted that will go to IEEE Explore. The conference ISBN number and several other components, that goes with conference profiling, and then the one that goes to Explore. Those communication will have to go to the conference chair, and then the conference chair will share those documents with the publication chair and then the TCP chair, and then we'll be able to run with it. As at this moment, I am not aware of that communication. I've not received, that mail, and that was why I wanted him to probably give us updates if he has received such communication. If not, he needs to engage our IEEE Nigerian section chair. I shared this number on the platform. I can't remember whether it's Dr. Mr. Jai, or I don't know. I shared that contact so that he will speak with him and find out if we have received that communication. Otherwise, it will really impair, it will really delay the kind of thing we want to do next. So I don't know if our prof is here, conference chair
No,
is here.
he is not here now. I called him. He said he's in another meeting, but he has not received any information from the IEEE Nigerian session chair.
Okay, so the next step will be for him to engage IEEE MCE, send a mail to them, copy the section chair, call the section chair, and then let them know that we're expecting the conference record number, the LOA, letter of acquisition, and all the details that has to do with this conference. Otherwise, we are going to be having challenge of profiling this conference in IEEE Explore. We have done the ones we're supposed to do from Nigerian section. It's just a follow-up, and then to ensure that these details, we have them. Actually, before now, we ought to have had that detail. So maybe he hasn't followed up yet. So I'll kindly advise that he go ahead, do a very quick letter, possibly this night. We don't have time anymore to close out on these preliminary fees. Without that detail, without those details, it will not go, will not make the kind of progress we're supposed to make. So if you look at the conference timetable schedule, normally we determine and apply for sponsorship from all IEEE and non-IEEE organizations. That's the first thing that ought to start happening. We start sending communication to probably NCS, media, and all the people that are supposed to be sponsors of this conference. They're supposed to started pushing out letters to them, letter of sponsorship, letter of collaboration, panel discussion, and all those. Those things ought to start. So once you obtain those sponsorship, and or once it is in process, we'll register the conference, submit the conference application, and then get the approved MOU. That's actually what we're supposed to do. This happens normally within 24 and 18 months of the conference. Then from there, we'll contact the IEEE Nigerian section where the conference will be held. That's Nigerian section. And then make sure that all the things are in place. This we have done. Then we'll now develop communications, the plan, the marketing materials, and the conference website. We have done the conference website, the marketing of the conference, and the materials. That hasn't been done. So we need to create the marketing profile. How do we market this conference and all that? Apart from what we have on the website, the conference needs to be marketed using different channels, either social media, placards, and then the branding of the conference. This ought to happen. Then we'll develop the paper management process, identify the system vendor. Now, this we have done, that's actually what we have done with EasyChair. And I want to commend the effort of the AITP chair and all the people that have made it possible for us to secure the appropriate license for the conference. So that's having been done. We'll now develop the technical program and the paper submission deadlines. This we have done. We have identified all the members of the TCP, the thematic areas, and then what they call it, the paper submission process. This we've covered. Then creating of website for paper submission and all that we've done. Then planning social activities and tour program. So there's supposed to be a campaign, strong social media campaign. Now that probably ASU is on strike, and we'll have institutions that are currently on ground. We're supposed to have delegations that will be meeting, having discussions around this conference. Even the Nile University, thank God, we have Professor Steve with us, having those engagements and then creating more awareness. This ought to be the thing happening at this moment. Then, as we are expecting papers from different authors, now the call for paper have been rolled out. We need to start having discussion on the review standards, review procedures, and the conference and structure. Those discussions ought to be going on right now. Then establishing deadline for registration, early bird, and all that. That already we have on the website. And then confirming the logistics on site and what they call it, physical engagement. And then submission of conference proceeding and all that. So in all this value chain, things have to be done from one phase to the other. I'm not aware if we have our strong publicity committee for this conference at the moment. There's need for us to create a conference publicity committee that will aggressively start publicizing this conference. When we check through the IEEE, what they call it, the Easy Chair platform, I discovered that we'll just have only about 8 papers, from different authors. This is supposed to be a well-covered conference. And by now, 8 papers is not sufficient. So the work of the publicity needs to really be on ground to make sure that we harmonize and then start capturing papers. Conference, the NigerCon conference, people are willing, to submit papers, but we need to take this advocacy, to the section, the what they call it, the different other channels, so that people can start working on their papers to submit and then participate. Another thing I wanted to highlight is that all the conference on the website. Just 1 minute, let me stop sharing this screen so that I will go to the website and highlight what we have there. On the website, sorry, I'm sure you can see my screen. I don't know if you can see my screen now.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. So on the website, we have thematic areas like artificial intelligence for autonomous systems. The chair is Professor Olufunke Rebecca Vincent. I don't know if Prof is here. Prof, are you in this meeting?
Yes, I'm here, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening,
much.
sir. Yes, sir.
Dr. Nkoli, I don't know if you're in this meeting. Dr. Nkoli,
yes, I'm here.
Okay, thank you. Sorry,
I said I'm here.
Okay, thank you. I need to go this route so that we'll identify those of us in this call, and then we can begin to network and see how we can follow up on our tracks. Because every track, the track chair and the co-chair are the CEOs of that track. They are supposed to be giving us reports anytime we have our TCP meeting. They give us reports on the progress of the track. What are they doing to attract the kind of papers that should be in their track? What are the issues and what are the challenges, and then we'll be able to address it head on. So that's track 1. Track 1 is artificial intelligence and autonomous systems. Then track 2, we have big data, cloud computing analytics. We have Professor Jimo Rashid and Dr. Okupoje Kennedy. Dr. Kennedy, I don't know if you are here. Alan's Prof is in another meeting. Dr. Kennedy, I don't know if you are here. If you are here, you know that you're in track 2. Track 3, we have cybersecurity and data protection system. Professor Obini, I'm sure Prof is here. Dr. Ekong, I don't know if you are here.
I'm here, yes.
Okay, thank you. So, Society 5.0 and robotics. Yes, we are aware you are here. Thank you. Professor Steve and Dr. James Agaju. That's track 4. Track 5 is embedded systems in biomedicals. Dr. Adoron K. Thompson and Dr. Faith Priest. I don't know if you are here. Adoroki and Fred Chris. I don't know if you are here. Okay. So 5G networks will have Professor Nash Farouk and Dr. Flashadi. Doc, I hope you are here. I think I saw you in this call. Down. Then data science, deep learning, cybernetics, intelligent control system, Dr. Moore, and Professor Francis Nachi from South Africa. Then Dr. Tuzi, I know you're here, Dr. Larry, and Dr. Tenda. So we have just 10 tracks. So these tracks are supposed to attract papers that will be in their thematic areas. So please, I'll just encourage that all the track chairs, please, you have the responsibility of following up on your tracks, encouraging your students, encouraging your colleagues to pushing their papers for the conference. Now, the conference chair is not here. I wanted to find out from him, and then with the ATIP president and the TCP, what is the minimum conference target we're looking at? We need to have a target of number of papers we are looking at, so that will help us to determine the acceptance ratio, the rejection ratio, and the likes. So typically, we can budget 300, 400, 500 as case might be. So I wouldn't know if we have a conference target. That I wanted the conference chair to still address, so as to give us a roadmap on what he's looking at, so that the conference can work with that. Mr. Jai, I don't know if Professor Jimo is now around.
No, he's not around, but I think Professor.
It's not around. However, you know, sir.
Okay, go ahead, please, sir. Go ahead.
As yes, you know that with the money we pay for each year,
yes,
we are not expecting anything less than 300 to 400 papers.
Okay, so if we are expecting 400 papers, we should set a target of like 700, 800 papers. We need to set a very good target so that worst case scenario would be close to your projected target. So if we say 400, we're not looking at 400. We need to be looking at 800 papers at minimum. That is how it is. Otherwise, if we target 400 papers and we're looking at 400, you might end up having 100 papers or, within that range. That's our experience. And that's how this is. So if we're looking at 400, then that means the publicity will have to be very massive, so that we'll be looking at way above your projected the projected targets. Yeah, Prof, I don't know if you're with me. That's
yes, I'm with you, sir.
Okay. Okay,
you know, with the situation of things, as you have said earlier on,
yes,
the ASU is on strike. Many of the schools are closed. The private schools and some other schools are on. So we need to do extra, we need to put in extra efforts by making sure our own students also write papers, and we should, like what I did was that every contact on my WhatsApp, I make sure that I send the flyer to them and I'm following them up. So if all of us can do the same, I believe that we'll go a long way. Apart from that, just as you have said, we also have to involve the use of social media and every other means of advertising the conference.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, if there are inputs or comments, please, you can just bring it on board so that we'll harmonize that. So from the IEEE Nigerian section, I will discuss with the section secretary. Incidentally, I'm the membership development officer again in the section. So what I will do, I will try, because of the collaboration currently existing, I will try to use our IEEE V2s that will have over 1,000 people, members, and then we're going to do a broadcast of this conference. We're going to use our IEEE V2s to broadcast to over 1,000+ members. based on this discussion, so that people can leverage that. The same thing can go with AITP. If AITP have a functional database, we can use a broadcast email blast and then send this notice to the members, and then the circulation can continue. Then the postgraduate students and the other members of the ASU community and the likes, they can take advantage. Now that they have time, I think we'll have some time, since people are not actively engaged, to begin to work on the papers. So that in the next 1 month, 2 months, we'll begin to have something very reasonable within the what do you call it, projected targets. So that will be the suggestions I have for the publicity. Then we need to have a functional publicity team that will help us in doing the branding. Every conference must have very strong branding. The branding will help to permeate social media and every place to get people to know about the conference, and then we can follow up. Okay. Okay, so having said that, one other thing I want to mention as part of the preliminary structure is that okay, so the track chairs and co-chairs, I don't know if you have any input or suggestion before we proceed. We'll close this meeting in the next 15 minutes. The track chairs and co-chairs, if you have any suggestion you want to make, we'll be glad to take.
The co-chairs around, I think she can speak for herself.
Yes. So co-chair, if conference chair is not around, co-chair, you should be able to say something. And then all the track chairs, your comments and your inputs are very important, so that we can be on the same page. Please, the floor is open. Go ahead, please.
Dr. Mrs. Sekong, over to you.
Hello, sir. Hello, Prof.
Yes,
go ahead, please.
Hello? Yes, sir. What I didn't get what you were saying. I was distracted a little. What you said I should comment on, sir?
So, what's your
Hello, sir.
what is your contribution to the publicity and the conference structure generally? As our co-chair, I believe you should be having some conversation with the conference chair. So, are there inputs or are there information you want us to have? Probably we don't have access to, at the moment, or suggestions you want to bring on the table.
I think from my end, I think publicity is the major aspect that we are working on presently, and the flyers have been out, and we have been distributing flyers on our platform, on our different platforms. That's what we have done so far. Every other thing is on there. We are running with you, working with you, sir.
Please, are you having conversation with the conference chair to see areas of improvement? I don't know if you have been having, because the conference chair, co-chair, they need to be interacting.
Yes, I think I discussed with the conference chair not too long ago, when the issues relating to who chairs which what track.
Okay.
I think we discussed in that area lately, not too long ago, on how to structure it.
Okay. We got a notice. We got a notice now
That was the last
okay. We have a brief that the conference projected target is 400 papers. So
yes,
I hope
sir.
we are in tandem with that projection. 400, that means we need to aim much more than 400, so that we can have
that's our target, to aim more than 400, sir. Yes.
Okay, that's fine.
That's our target. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I want to AITP President, Conference Co-Chair, and all the TCP. I recommended one of our colleagues that will be able to help us do some secretarial work, the secretary of the conference, so that we can facilitate some of the things we are doing, and then follow up on meetings and schedules. Dr. Nkoli recommended her to help us do secretarial job as far as this conference is concerned. She is in nice meeting. Dr. Nkoli, I hope you are still around. Or have you gone out?
Oh, okay, we were thinking that Mr. Ebenezer will do that. I don't know.
Okay, okay. You know, Mr.
I don't know if
Ebenezer,
we have discussed with Nita
yes, Mr. Ebenezer is
before
going to be
taking.
okay. It's okay. What we want, we need to have several backups.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Mr. Ebenezer is not around. Somebody, for example, our conference chair is not around. We need to hold somebody accountable.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So
Like now, Dr. Ekong is there to as the co-chair.
exactly.
Okay, I understand.
If she's not here, it becomes a big problem. So we create different layers of support.
Okay.
Mr. Ebenezer is going to be helping us a whole lot on the easy chair. We have not started that. There are a whole lot of work to be done, honestly. So we need more people that will support what we're doing. Otherwise, we will not make great progress. 800 papers or 400 papers is not a joke at all. So we need people that will be on ground. Otherwise, the pressure will be on the president. The pressure will be on the conference chair. And I'm not sure you want to accommodate that kind of pressure.
No, I don't want to do that.
So that's why we try to get more people. We need to get more people that will support. It's not necessarily Mr. Ebenezer has been very helpful. So, but you need more people that will work with you so to be able to make the kind of progress that will help the conference to scale.
Thanks so much, sir. That's okay.
Okay, that's fine. So, so we have all seen the thematic areas. I don't think we have issues. We just want to encourage people to start working on the publicity at micro level skills, so that people can push in their papers, and then we'll begin to plan it. So, what I will kindly advise the conference chair, co-chair, AITP president, and other stakeholders, please. The people we are looking at, the NIDA, I've been with the NCC, the TED Fund, the JAM. I'm sure we have started rolling out letters to them. We've started that informal conversation so that they will begin to align. Not that dying minute, we'll start looking for them. That will be a big problem. So we'll start on time to reach out to them and then carry them along and then let them prepare. Those of them that will have keynote speech, that will have a presentation of difference. Let them start now to prepare so that the pressure will not mount on the conference chair and the like. So that would be my suggestion for now. So okay, so let me quickly just share the Easy Chair platform, and then I think we can close out for the meeting. Let me check. So far so good. The Easy Chair platform, we have. Let's look at all the submissions so that we know where we are. So please, I think you can see my screen. This is what we have on the Easy Chair platform. I'm sure we can see the screen now.
Yes, we can see your screen, sir.
Okay, so we'll just have 5 papers. And then we have, less than 2-3 months to go in terms of deadline for paper submission. There could be extension, but this for us to have an idea. The conference will need to do quite a lot in terms of publicity to get people to start pushing in their papers. We have only 5 papers at the moment. So the IEEE community, the AITP community, and the academy and the industry will need to reach out to them quickly and see how they can start working immediately to get their papers on this Easy Chair platform. I don't think we'll have any problem with the Easy Chair. I've been working with some people to set up the back ends and configure the things that we need to configure so that the system will work seamlessly. So that is where we are on EasyChair. I don't know if there will be any other comments. If there is no other comment, we'll most likely will want to close out. Mr. Jai, I don't know, discussion on the, I saw on the flyer, the JAMB registrar and all the key speakers. I don't know if discussions have commenced and then what the plans are so that they will be carried along.
Professor Bini will be able to say much on that.
Okay.
He's himself and the Professor Jimo have been working on that. So I think he should be able to tell us one or two things about that now.
Okay. Prof, if you have any information, probably you can share with us. Otherwise,
yes, we've written letters to them, and we've asked some proxy to contact them. So we are still following them up.
Okay. 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 That's a good progress. So,
and on this note, sir, I think this, since it is a teamwork, if you know those who want to contact, we can know how to collaborate together and get in contact with them. If there's still somebody in your heart you want us to invite, who can be of support to the conference, you can let us know.
Yes, okay, let me just give some information that I think will be useful. I was in contact with the former Inspector General of Police, Dr. Solomon Irasia, and he's a very strong, committed member of the AI community. He's a lawyer, but he has a lot of information on AI. And I spoke with him. I told him about this conference, and he mentioned that he's willing to, participate. So I would rather suggest that if I can provide the details, a letter can be issued so that he can. That will give us formal, what do you call it, gateway to invite him, and probably maybe he can be in part of the other panel sections, or the likes, so that the conference can have some visibility. I'm sure in his capacity he can bring in the paramilitary, the security agencies and all that to be part of this conference. I work with him on several projects, and then we are still collaborating. In fact, the Amalan Society and their executive secretary. So we've talked lots on this. So I personally will recommend that we send letter to him so that he can reach out and then bring his paraphernalia, his colleagues, and then so that they will be part of the conference. That's for the former Inspector General of Police. I think it will be a very good one. It will be a very good resource for the conference. I can do that. Then,
so we are so glad to hear that. As I will be very happy if you can provide all the necessary information about him, and not only him, if there are others, as many as possible, the more the merrier. We will only try our best to make sure that we contact them.
Absolutely.
And we need all those who can also support either financially or otherwise too.
Yes. Okay. Let me talk briefly about the resource persons. I think I have some very important persons we can bring on board. I know that the minister, we can easily reach him, Professor Pantami. I don't know if we built him to be part of this conference. I don't know, but if he is not, we can extend that invitation to him. I'm sure he would love to participate. He was in our NigerCon conference, and he played a very prominent role with his agencies, NCC and the NIDA. I think they work with us in setting up NigerCon. So other persons like the media, the NTA, we can reach out to them to help in press coverage if that is part of the LOC plan for this conference. We can get them on board. Then other organizations like I think IBM, Cisco. I believe NCS will have all those people in their database to contact. I don't think that should be a problem for AITP and NCS to get some of these other organizations, at least their top managers, to be part of panel sections, if not for any other thing. We'll see how that goes. So I can recommend like 3 persons as resource persons and follow them up, and I'm sure they will be able to join. Then for finances, I know election cycle is around the corner. Most persons, if you tell them now, they tell you that they are actually involved in electioneering and all that. I don't know how that will really span out, but I wouldn't know the people will have in mind. I mean, the conference, I wish the conference chair is here because there are some questions I'm sure he would have been in better position to answer. Those that, the conference is reaching out to. Co-chair. Hello, co-chair, are you here, please?
Dr. Omisekon, are you there?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Yes. So I'm asking a question. I don't know the the people that you've considered reaching out to in terms of sponsorship, financial support. I don't know, what they, because
Yeah.
hey, somebody is actually interfering. Okay, so if we can have an idea, I don't know the blueprint you have in terms of reach out. The conference chair, the co-chair, we need to know what are the plans in terms of if that's supposed to be in the finance committee. The conference chair, co-chair, and the finance committee is supposed to give us an idea of those that they are reaching out so that we don't duplicate efforts. So don't go to the same person you've sent later or you talk to start discussing with the person. So I don't know the plans on that front in terms of those that have been considered for reach out or those that have been reached out to in terms of conference sponsorship.
Okay, I think those that we published on our flyers have been reached out to. And we are still working on it on how to ensure that they support us during the conference. So we are working on it. Letters have been sent, some letters have been out also.
Okay, please, follow up is important. Follow up is important.
Yes,
so that
yeah.
But there are many people looking for the same thing that you're looking for. Many people are looking for the same thing. So we don't follow up. That's idea. Okay. In the absence of anything, I will allow Professor Lugude, I don't know if you are still around. Let me recognize, we have some of our consultant network colleagues here. Our vice chair here, Dr. Anedu Azubike. Doc, you're welcome. Dr. Anedu, you're welcome. Are you still on the call? Okay. Yeah, it appears your mic is muted. I don't know. Is this Professor Oge? Prof, are you here? Okay. 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 So, Prof, back to you so that you can close out the meeting. I think we've had a good discussion. The rest of the thing will be for the conference chair, co-chair, and all the conference leaders to follow up so that we can see how we can make progress. This meeting, do we scale it bi-weekly, monthly, or what? How do we structure this meeting so that we can have time to review progress?
I think bi-weekly would be better because there's no time.
Okay. Mr. Jai, please, bi-weekly, we'll need to follow up.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
No problem,
okay.
sir.
Okay.
So that's our next meeting should be will be next week Tuesday and
No,
next week Monday.
Bi-weekly. That is 2 weeks time.
Okay, bi-weekly. Okay. So in 2 weeks time, we should be having by Monday again, 8:30 p.m.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay.
So
okay,
what I mean is that all the what do you call it, chairs, co-chairs for different thematic areas, they will be available to give us reports of progress so far, and then areas of support and intervention we'll be able to follow. More importantly, co-chair, please follow up with the conference chair. Let them reach out to IEEE MCE, and let's see how we can close out on the conference record numbers and all those details. Very, very important. So I'll be sure that the
All right,
conference
all
will go
right,
to
all
explore.
right.
Okay,
It's okay, sir. We'll do that.
okay, okay. All right. President, sir, you can close the meeting now. Thank you very much. I hand over to you, so close the meeting.
Okay, thanks so much, sir, for this proficient and all-involving and encompassing meeting you have chaired this evening. We are so grateful. We'll be very glad if you can also forward those names and what you want, for the position you want those people to hold, what you want them to do. You can forward them to us so that we can draft something and send them back to you so that you can help us pursue them. You know, as I've said, this is a collaborative work, and the more the merrier.
Absolutely.
So, and we can always create a function for them to perform, you know, and because since we are working in the unity of the same purpose, you know, there's no way we cannot accommodate as many as possible. So we are very grateful for those suggestions, for the ideas you have brought in. Thank you for your effort behind the scene. That is only God that can reward you. And thank you for your energetic effort that we are seeing presently. I believe that at the end of the whole program, we'll have the full honor to say thank you the more. I want to thank every one of us that are available this evening. Some really could not be here for one or two reasons. I also say thank you to them. And for some of us that our networks are fighting us, we say thank you to you for trying all your best to be here. I believe next time, please let us call others, as many as possible, so that in the next meeting, we can all be here. Because by the time we're all carried along, I believe that we'll have a better conference. Thank you once again, and God bless you all.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, I think I will stop the meeting. Okay, good night, everybody.